happy Tuesday to everybody in my dragon family. Araya on Rock coming to you live here as we do every Tuesday. I had a great question this week, and that's what we're going to go into today. I do want to make sure, as I give people time to come on, that everybody is aware we start 2 weeks from today. What's happening here with my lights? Still got a few lights around, giving a little flare to the space when they want to actually work. Well, we'll see. This is how the day has gone. Anybody else feeling that? This is very interesting. Look at that really tenuous connection there. Not sure which one's being triggered, but that was something I was going to talk about today too. So let's start with the quantum flight. 2 weeks from today, it's going to be a powerhouse class. It's meant to accelerate and launch you into connection with your full self, your dragon self, your light body, that 5D merge, and really get you where you need to be to know how to keep going on that. What is the focus of what's happening in your body, biologically, energetically, through all the energy bodies, as we go through this ascension process. Amazing amount of information, working with the dragons to accomplish that and to be initiated into them. So we start on the 25th, 2 weeks from today. If you don't know about it, or have your ears perking or your heart perking, oh, interesting. I lean forward and I go back, ooh. As we move forward, please reach out, araya@dragonwithin.com, and I will send you the information so that you can get in. I do have a couple spots left, not many, but it's going to be an amazing group. The group that's come together is an incredible group of individuals. They have a very synchronous energy, so I'm excited to see what all happens. And I know for many of them, the energy is already starting. It is already starting to push them through a lot of expansion and growth. And we don't start for 2 weeks. That's what the group spheres do. And that's what the work I do does. So paying attention to that. Let's talk about the energies today and this flickering of lights and all the struggles. I have had a morning that I can only describe as chaos trying to unfold, and a beautiful test in my ability to stay centered, to not let it pull me off balance, and recognizing Mercury goes retrograde. I believe it's a double retrograde, whatever that could mean. I remember reading that a while back. We start that on Friday. So what does that mean when we have a big planetary shift? 24, 48, 72 hours before that, those energies start. It's like a foreshadow or a beginning of the phase. So I feel like we're just finally moving into, not finally, but we're gently moving into this energy. And so that's where my day has started. And if time could lapse and warp, that's been happening. If something could be misaligned or not work, or work too slowly to get connected over here, that's all been happening. So I find it very fascinating to feel and be aware of that going in. So if you've had a rough morning here on Tuesday, the 11th of January, and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, it's not even Monday, right? We're past Monday. Just take the challenge. Let the universe show you where you need to be more centered. Breathe out and follow your heart. What do you really need to be focused on? What do you need to be doing in that moment? Can it be put off for a bit if you need to focus on something else? And here, I did pull the fire in the obsidian dragons because of that push energy of let's clear. Let's really get some debris out. And so it's interesting that even now I'm recognizing very rarely do I drink my water on camera, but I'm getting so parched from the heat of even the energy in the discussion that I'm really grateful that my water bottle happens to be sitting there. So the question today, let's go into that. As I said, if you're feeling called to quantum flight, you haven't got the application yet, you've got time, get a hold of me. It is going to be a major acceleration. But the question this week that I want to focus on was a really good one, and this came actually from one of my dragon hearts. And I thought, this will benefit everybody. So let's do this on a live. Do dragons have more than one incarnation as a dragon? And if so, do they come back as the same dragon or a different kind? So I want you to first sit with that in your own field and allow the memory. Because most of the people that watch my stuff that get connected to me, they either have a very deep connection to dragons where they've incarnated either as them or around them many times, or they are a dragon themselves, and you have memory banks to answer that question. And you already know and feel in your heart. And this is where moving moving into our heart space, moving into our ascension acceleration, and that pure knowing that we're connected to ourself fully, all that divine knowledge that we have in our soul level aspect, we start to tap into it. And that's what happens in a reading space. That's what that pure knowing is. Move into that space, and your heart will always tell you, you already know inside your heart what the answer is to this question. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about it so that you can actually have the validation of, wow, I was right. She talked about exactly what I was feeling. And as I talk about it, you can allow those memories to begin accelerating into your awareness, to begin pulling forth where I myself have an actual solid memory. I know I'm water dragon lineage, that in my higher form I'm not dense like water, not even dense as crystal, but the format, the geometry, everything matches what I would call water dragon. That's my highest self. That's my original aspect. So I would choose naturally, even before Earth plane and humanity were a potential, I was out having incarnational experiences in other realms, other galaxies, other star systems, potentially other universes and realms. So I actually have conscious memory of being in a typical dragon form that is sort of like these guys. You've got wings and at least 2 legs, or 4 legs like the fire dragon pictured here. In that format, that's not my natural state that I recognize in a geometric pattern that's part of my signature, which is more serpentine like the water dragon, although I do have wings as water dragon. And I do have appendages, but it's more serpentine, whereas this is more quadrupedal or bipedal body format, right? So in this shape, I have conscious memory of having more blue, silver, purple type shimmery skin. I knew I was on a planet, so it was a denser incarnational experience, and I recognized myself. And it came through in a meditation, and I was like, whoa, I remember pieces of that. That is me. Isn't that interesting? Because my normal form is so different. So yes, we come back in many, many forms. So a dragon would naturally choose its first and foremost fit energetically to move into a body in that energetic, or in any incarnational experience. It doesn't preclude from other experiences. So how does the soul learn? The soul learns by many different incarnational opportunities. So I know that I've been star being in different star systems. I can remember, or I recognize more so than memory, when I see certain depictions of star beings. There's some that I just resonate with and recognize as so familiar that those are the ones I probably had experienced or had been around and interfaced with on a regular basis, even if I was dragon. So in this question, do they have more than one incarnation as dragon? Yes. They don't always have to take the same format. So you don't always have to be a serpentine dragon if you know you're serpentine. You may take a serpentine form if you know your original form is more like your average dragon that has the 4 legs and the wings separate. You can have incarnations with multiple sets of wings. The most I've ever seen is 8 wings, or 8 sets of wings, excuse me. Very unusual, very unique. But 2 sets of wings, very, very common. No wings. So there are all kinds of opportunities just as dragon to learn from those limitations, those accelerations. How does that body function? What would that preclude you for in a different environment or experience? Choosing that in addition to choosing many other body types. So the answer to the question is yes, and many, many times, especially those that are from the original dragon realm. So dragons are not necessarily just incarnate from the original dragon realms. That was the first level of creation of what we call dragon. But when the rainbow realms were created, dragons were part of that. There are dragons in the Middle Earth realms, the Deep Earth realms, part of all of the Earth realm where they're holding the grids around this planetary system. So that would give us an indicator of other planetary systems, even in other universes, that they exist in many places, in many forms, and there would be a reason to experience all that, even if it was just to take your normal format. So say I want to be a serpentine dragon most often, I would do it in many different environments because I'm always going to learn something in those environments on a soul level. So the second part of this, if yes, do they come back as the same dragon or a different kind? And I think that's part of what I've answered here is it's a choice on a soul level. So say we all are human as a basis, first and foremost human, and all the incarnations that I've had, well, I don't even have to be human to do that, but as this relates to dragon soul or human soul, you're still going to choose many incarnations. So I know I have conscious memory of being in masculine bodies, being in bodies from different continents, so Egypt, Mesopotamia, South America, the Andean mountain in the civilization of An, Mongolian area, India. So without going all through my lifetime, and many in North America as Native American. So in that, even if I was first and foremost human, I would have chosen all of those different bodies and paths because that affords us the most experiences to be all sides of the equations. To be the vendor, to be the buyer, to be the victim, to be the perpetrator, to be the rich guy, to be the poor guy, to be the pauper in the street who's homeless, to be one that takes care of those, to be a nurse, to be a patient. That we align as many experiences as possible, and it takes as many different body types and formats as possible to do that. So whatever our soul level is, it will take different forms. But I thought it was a great question because it's not something that most of us spend a lot of time thinking about. And until you think about it and ask the questions, sometimes that memory doesn't get pulled out of you. And it takes that question or this discussion to trigger those memory banks into being able to be access points for you to have that unknowing within yourself. So I'm really grateful that this Dragonheart asked the question because it generates more information for me and a way to explain it and share it, and more answers for you to explore. So sit with that in your own journey. How can you take that in now and expand and grow from it? Hopefully you take all of the answers to questions or topics that I discuss, and sort of say, all right, where does that apply to me? Am I able to really integrate that information and the energy that she's sharing and feel and realize that, knowing full body in myself that information, or triggering something that brings in that cellular memory like I had, where something must have triggered it. I'm in a meditative space and I can see myself on this other planet knowing, wow, that body's me, and I haven't seen myself in that shape or that color before. Okay, that tells me a lot. So work with that and sit, what are all my different forms? Sometimes we just need to ask the question and have our own guides and our inner self project the information to us that they can't until we are ready to hear it. And even just bringing up the discussion, you might not have realized you were ready to hear it or ready to know, but now that it's been brought in your field, that can be a point. You know, sometimes do you sit and meditate and not really know what you're looking for? What's your intention going into a meditation? Do I just want to relax? Do I want to be in a quiet space? Do I want to see where I get taken? Because you can take intention into your meditations, and if you want to know more, go in with that intention. Show me if I am dragon. Show me my connection to dragon. Show me if I am dragon, what different form, what's my core form, what forms have I taken, and start to access that for yourself, because it will bring you down the path of more information and more connection to that which is you, which is the whole point of the work that I do in programs like the Way of the Dragonheart, the Eye of the Dragon, and now Quantum Flight, of getting you to where you are living who you be. And who you be at your core is that higher self, your oversoul, your light body, whatever you want to call it, that is that dragon, that is wanting to express in every moment through you. And that's literally, if you're not fully understanding the ascension process, that's what our ascension process really is. It's about moving into that merge, that divine union state with our fullness, so that we're actually living and accessing all of that information in the now moment and aligning to it. Because I will tell you right now, when you know you're in 3D, and I know I was in 3D in different moments this morning and kept going, there's an opportunity to center and feel, what do I have resistance to? What am I not aligning with that's bringing all of this chaotic little scenarios in, so that I can move through it with ease and grace, because that's what my soul would do. and it would respond and allow. And so every one of those experiences, we gain insight, we gain information, and we move one step closer to being in alignment with us, with my core energetically. When we're in 3D, we're pulled askew, we're on a linear. We're pulled away from center, we're pulled away from that ability to be aligned with our truest core self. And most of us don't even know who or what that is, because there's so many belief systems, little boxes built around us that are from peers, from family, from growing up, and saying, oh, you do it this way, or this is what you are, and buying into it. And when you start peeling those off, you start to recognize, like, wow, I'm so far over here from where I would choose to be, and look where it came from. My beliefs about this, my beliefs about that, they came from this person, that came from that person. That is not actually me. And when you pull that off, then you can actually feel you aligning in, so that you can realign into that and be one step closer to that midline, or that energetic core that then allows you to actually move into the ascension process. It's the journey of coming from the outer realms of 3D, being askew from that, and coming into yourself, and that knowing that is you. And how do we do that? And the dragons, why are they here? Why do they help? They help pull all those layers off. They pull those traumas, those densities, those belief systems, or they help you see them so that you can. So all of this is a great gift to use as our point of contemplation, and be able to step into more of ourselves. That's my goal. That's why I'm here. If I can help you do that in a way, whether it's through a program, a book club, a session, a dragon reading, or even just a discovery call to get you started on, this would be a direction for you where your guides are pulling you right now to pull you into the next steps of information that are bringing you closer to you. Because it is a journey, but I tell you, that journey is accelerated right now. You can feel the energies, and why I'm offering an accelerated program, because the energies are allowing it. The dragons showed me last year, everything keeps accelerating. You can feel that in your journey. So when we get pulled into that, and it's on the chaotic side, it's feels like a whirlwind, feels like a lot of stuff happening, a little chaos. So where are we? We don't let it go take us into a tailspin. We keep moving closer and closer to, how would my core soul respond to this? How would my dragon sit with this? And those gentle steps forward for that. So hopefully that was enlightening as far as the question, and maybe it wasn't a question you'd ever asked yourself, but it was insightful and went, gives me something to think about or sit with to get that information back into myself. So I thank you so much for being here. If you need anything from me, whether it's a discovery call or a session, you know where to email me, araya@dragonwithin.com, or go to my site, dragonwithin.com. You can find all the books, guided meditations, online courses there. You can find the contact form to get a hold of me. You can find the free download of the guided meditation, and you can find the Book Now button, which takes you to my calendar, where you can find a free discovery session or a reading if you know that's what you need. All right. Many blessings to you. We'll see you next week. Have a great week. And don't let that Mercury retrograde energy stymie or stump you. Allow it to be an opportunity to see more and more where you can not fall into the chaos or the pull of it. Stay in the center of what we might call a tornado whirling around you, and move through it. Ease and grace. What can I align into here? All right. Blessings for a great week, everybody. Bye for now.